If you're the head of operations for your business, then this is a video that can change your life. No more doing everything yourself. It's time to learn how to build a team of virtual assistants to help you free up your time to do work that matters. Hi, it's Linh Podetti here, founder of Outsourcing Angel, and in this video, you will learn from Richard Fu, my very own operations manager, on what tasks he delegates to our team of VAs and how you too can build a team to support you. You will also learn how you can nurture them to be proactive and take initiatives, and how you can build a business that is not all dependent on you. So if you need to take a holiday, you can. Hey Richard, thanks for coming back and sharing your wisdom again. I always can count on you. Today, let's talk about your role particularly, which is operations manager, and how you're able to actually leverage and grow with the team to help you, because when you're away, the team doesn't crumble. And I'm not going, oh my God, where's Richard? Because you've actually been able to really build out the operations team to run efficiently with the team of VA. So that's why I wanted to have a chat with you today. All right, so when you joined, you considered yourself as an operations manager for me. Let's go a little bit deeper. Like, what is an operations manager? What did you feel like your role entailed?
Yeah, and look, like, this is the thing, is what I realized then was ages ago, I try to run my own businesses. As you know, as being a business owner and entrepreneur, you're doing everything, right? But the problem is you do everything, you're not good at anything. And so what I looked at was like, look, I know I suck at sales, I know I suck at marketing, but what I'm really good at is systems and just organizing things and keeping things structured for people. And I realized, you know what? I think of myself as this, Lynn, and this is what a really good operations manager in my mind is someone who doesn't butt heads with you to be in the limelight. Someone who doesn't be like, you got to recognize me in front of the world as well, right? It's someone who's humble enough to be like, and this, it sounds like I'm talking myself up, right? But it's like someone has to be humble enough to be like, I'm okay to be in the backstage. I'm okay to be the dude under the stage who gets the applause that no one sees, right? I'm the dude who's behind the screen and no one knows about, because they see you as the owner, the face of everything. And that's what I said to you, Lynn. I'm like, if you want me to be the face of OA and all that, Lynn, I don't want that. I just want to be the guy who shines the spotlight on you, Lynn, and everyone else in our team, and make them shine brighter. That's literally what I want to do here. You know, and that to me is what an operations or COO or whatever you want to call them is the person who he's not the person, or she's not the person that makes the business thrive and work without them. They're just like a conductor in an orchestra. They just guide everyone to be like, hit the note here, and then this is what happens here, and then this is what goes on over here. That's all they're doing. And in my mind, a very good operations manager is the one that can train up other people to, one, create successes, right, when they're not around, but also to reduce the risk, right? You have to reduce the risk of, if someone's gone, then the whole company can't run, right? Like, that key person risk shouldn't be there. And so that's
Take back yourself at that time 2.5 years ago when you joined. What did you work on? Because I remember we started to change some systems and process, but if you could remember back, like, what were you thinking? What was the process that you had to take the company through?
Usually the first thing I remember was like, oh my God, this is a mess. And it will always feel like a mess to anyone who's really good at like structuring systems, processes. And the first thing I always do is, I don't want to make a change immediately unless I think it's critical. So what I always do is, first few weeks is, I'm a watch. I will observe. I will audit. I want to look at things. I want to see how people do things. I want to see how they interact with each other. I want to see the processes that they're following, whether it's written down or not. I just want to see. And then I just want to listen, right? I want to listen to hear like, what do you think is not working well? I was like, for example, like one of the first things we changed very quickly was moving into Slack, getting rid of WhatsApp, getting rid of Skype, getting rid of Facebook Messenger and all these other communication tools that was everywhere, and just being like, everything goes in here, yeah? Because otherwise people just feel overwhelmed hearing messages all over the place and they can't find where that message came from. It's firstly like auditing. What is probably the easiest way to describe it is audit. Just listen to people, listen to how the company is currently running at, so that then we can identify what the gaps are. And then it's like, okay, we then shift into change management, which is, we need to change it, and this is the reason why we change it, and getting everyone on board with the change. Because if people aren't on board with the change, then you're screwed.
So it looks like you kind of first look for some efficiencies and see if certain tools can actually automate things better. And even though it's an investment, like Skype is free, but Slack is a paid one. But we really tossed over the benefits and the features that we got from Slack, and knowing that that is kind of our virtual office, we kind of started spending, $600-700 per month on this tool because it was an integral part. And so you kind of got the tools happening. And then what happens with the team, and like where does the virtual assistant come in under your umbrella?
Yeah, and I guess the VAs come in afterwards when you as an operations manager has a very clear vision as to what you want to achieve. So for me, I'm like, I inherited the team that you had, and then I audited to see where are the functions that we have and is this necessary? And only when I had a very clear vision of where I want the team to go, then I could actually translate that to what do I want each of these VAs or these people to do. And so after you have that clear vision as to this is where we want to take operations, right? Operations includes client experience, includes billing, includes recruitment for us in our side. It includes IT as well, or whatever. Then we go in and look at, okay, so obviously as one person, I can't do all of that, right? And realizing I can't do all of that. If you try and do all of that, you're just going to kill yourself. And on top of that, it's like you need to separate yourself out as to the key functions of certain people. And that's what I did. I'm like, you identify if you're inheriting a team, you identify who is your second in charge that you can have, right? And in our case, it's Wendy, right? Because she just was there. And it's about getting them on the same page as to this is where I want to take the company. And the company is I want to change us. And this is one of the very big mandates I did at the start, right? Lynn, was I don't want to be the one making every decision. Yeah. The idea is I want to teach you guys how to make decisions too. At the start, they're all scared. They're like, what? Why? I mean, it's easier for me to just give it to you and you decide. But one of the big things, and that's how the company runs without you, is being okay to hand over those decisions and entrusting people to make the right decisions for your business as a business owner. And that's the biggest thing. And that's one of the first things I said to them is, I'm not giving you the decision right now. I'm telling you, this is the roadmap. And I think that's the thing that you have to do with your VA first, is you need to lay out the road in front of them so then they don't feel like, oh my God, I'm going to a jungle and I don't know where we're going to go. Right? It's like, this is literally what the road looks like. And it's not exactly smooth or whatever, but here's where we're trying to go to.
Okay, so you have Wendy there that is doing a bit of accounts, billing, etc. Can you describe some of each of the team members and their roles that help to support your operations?
The way we think of it is we focus on the customer experience so that we then build the roles around that, because ultimately that's one of the biggest functions. If we don't have customers that stay on with us, then we're not going to have a business at all. And so we focus as to what does that journey look like? First part is onboarding. Our sales team closes and then they come over to my team straight away. And I personally still do the onboarding calls because we want to bring the experience and the comfort. And, like one of my friends used to say is like, I'm the guy who catches them with a pillow when they make that jump. Because when you're buying anything, you're like, oh my God, I don't know if this is the right thing that happens. And we want to create that feeling of like you're getting caught by someone and we're looking after you. And so I personally still do that. And then the next steps are, it's like introducing the team through it. So, there will be then the recruitment team. They'll be like, okay, so these are the recruitment team members. They are responsible for helping find you your candidates, right? They're going to be screening them. They're going to be on the interviews with you. You can talk to them afterwards if you don't know who to pick. And it's about delegating that across to be like, we build a system of like, this is how we need to screen VAs so that it includes this, and we cover all these checkpoints. Otherwise, if we don't, it can cause a mistake. So there's the recruitment team. Then after that, we have our virtual office managers, right? Which is the VOM team, which the people who work closely with the clients and the VAs to understand how they're going through their journey, how are they feeling? Because that, for us is often we want to know how they're feeling in terms of the whole journey of things, because this is a people business. Ultimately, we're a people business. And if people live off feelings, right? If you don't know how they feel, then, it's a very big problem down the line. So yeah, then after that, they get to interact with Wendy, who's in accounts, who be setting up their services, their fees and all of those things. And, in between all of that, it's between me, the VOM team, to support them, the clients going forward. And a lot of the times it's us that you'll see there's a lot of brainstorming that happens behind the scenes. Problem comes up, The VOM doesn't just go in and solve it. It's like they review it. If they can solve it, they do. But then a lot of the times, if it's new problems, we come back as a team. And this is the important thing is, I think we create it so that they know they can come back to, whether it's me or all the other people in the team, to share the problem. And then we brainstorm as to what do we do with this situation, right? That's the right thing for the client.
Yeah. And actually under Wendy's role, I just remembered, is the 𝗪𝗏 experience. Do you want to share a little bit about that and how it falls under the ops team as well?
Yeah, and this falls in a lot under client experience side of things, whereby, you know, after reading that book, right, I'll Never Lose a Customer Again, we wanted to hone in on these customers and how to make sure that they enjoy their time here with us, even if the VA doesn't work out with them, that they love OA. And so, you know, we have this whole 𝗪𝗏 thing, which stems from a story about you, right, Lynn, experiencing really good service by a resort over in Bali. And we always try and think, we don't want to do what's good for or right or always for the client. We want to do what's the best, right? What's going to blow their mind. And, you know, we'll do things like, whether it goes to the point of supporting them, whereby maybe you're by yourself and you're like, oh, I don't know what the next step for my business is, hey, would you like to grab time with me, right, Richard? And I'll be your sounding board. I'll guide you through maybe what I think might be the next right step, because I've built a few businesses before, right? Or even they can get time with you, Lynn, right? It's like, you know, you are the inventive ones. Like, oh, maybe you should do this type of service, right? And it's those types of experiences. Sometimes we send out flowers, sometimes we send out gifts, bottles of wine, right, for key milestones. But the other thing is, we don't only just focus on the client, we focus on the VAs too. And we focus on making sure that they're happy and making sure that we recognize them. And on top of that, our team internally also spends 𝗪𝗏 time on our own team. This year alone, we're spending a lot more time and focus on people in our team need to feel like they are loved by the company, because they're the arms, the legs, the everything of the company. And without them, we can't make this work. And so I want them to feel like this is the best place to work.
Yeah.
So it goes in many ways.
Yeah, and especially with our size now, probably about all 70 of us in total, Wendy's, I guess, sole role is to give happiness to all of us. So that means when someone's birthday comes up, Wendy, who's from the Philippines, is coming up with gift ideas, creating those cards and doing all that. Because I think a lot of companies and business owners know that it's more expensive to get a new customer than it is to keep an old one, but yet they don't have time to go and keep them happy and do all these extra things, because it's these little extra thoughtful, because sometimes we send a card because it's personalized. They're like, oh my God, thank you. And it costs us $3. But it's because we have the resource and time being able to do it cheaply with virtual assistants from the Philippines, right? And then all the members that you've just mentioned under your umbrella, under the operations team, are all from the Philippines. And what can you say about, sometimes people think that cheap labor or people from the Philippines won't be as quality or skilled?
You can say that with anywhere, right? I mean, people reside in anywhere, and every type of person exists in any country as well. So yeah, you will get the lazy ones. You'll get the ones that don't want to grow. You'll get the ones that are really excited and want to grow and keep learning. And it's about your recruitment process and how, and on top of that, not just recruitment, it's about your own level of patience, right? Like if you ask me, Lynn, and you probably notice it's like, I have a lot of patience for most things, right? And I think as a business owner, most business owners don't have that patience to spend 6 to 12 months grooming, and I'll use that word properly, right? Like grooming the VAs to grow into the role that the VA wants to grow into too. We have this philosophy in OA where it's like, you come join us, it's like a family. Yeah, I can't kick out family unless you do something completely bad. But most of the times, I'm not going to give up on you as long as you don't want to give up. If you're performing badly, I will work my ass off with you, right? As long as you want to keep coming to the party. If you just don't want to, then that's fine, right? And that's what family does, is that we don't give up on family at the end of the day. And that's one of the things here is that I spent 6 to 12 months on each of these individuals to groom them up to slowly take on more responsibility, slowly take on more decision making, so that then they can actually help run the company, and then they feel empowered to drive innovation. Now we're not to the point where I'm like, okay guys, what do you think we can do better, right? They will be like, you know, week on week is like, I think we see this is what we think we can try and implement, and then we talk about it. We're like, oh, how do we make that idea better? How do we improve it? Is this the right time to do this type of activity as well? It's not about where the person's from. It's about you and your company and your culture and your level of patience to be willing to invest. Yeah, it's like a relationship. It's like you want someone who's the best, partner ever, but you can't have the best partner ever in a deep, loving relationship if you're not going to be willing to open yourself up, and you might get hurt. And honestly, I did. Right, I did that. Where how many times we had hired, I think 2 or 3 other people before, and then within 3 months or 6 months they left. Right, and then I literally thought it was me being a bad boss, and I'm like, no, I don't think so. Right, it's just sometimes you just get the wrong people, and so you have to focus on what is the goal that you want, and keep looking at that, even if you get into these roadblocks where you just hire the bad person, and the idea is you hopefully learn from that. So
yeah, no, definitely you are such a patient person, and you really groom these people into such great decision makers. They're all managerial people, and then you even have your team, like for example, one of the virtual operations manager, virtual VOM, it also has another assistant underneath, so you are on the lookout of going, okay, I think you're getting overwhelmed, so she's your assistant, but you saw that your assistant is getting busy, and then you hired an assistant for your assistant, so that you're never shocked if things go wrong, because you're already proactively seeing things before it happens. Yeah,
and you have to have that finger on the pulse to be like, hey, is everything okay? Right? And like we just literally had that meeting not too long ago with a lot of them. It's like, what's your capacity level at? Are you at 100%? If you're at 100%, that means we can't grow anymore. It means we need to get more people. But it's always checking in with them. And if you have that honest connection with someone, then they're going to be most of the time honest with you, right? To be like, yeah, I'm at this much. And even if they say they're at 70%, they're probably at like 90%, but they're like, I'm at 70 because I can still push a bit more, right? Yeah. And so that's not something you can just get within 3 months. Right, it's something you have to develop with your team, with your right culture, and with your own management style.
Okay, so now that you've got such an effective virtual assistant team, what does your day look like? What do you actually spend time doing, and what do you think your focus is for the business?
Like when I'm not answering your emails or random messages, Lynn. I mean, look, for me, it's really staying on top of things, right? It's always thinking about next 3, 6, 12 months. What is it that we want to improve on? It's about continuing going back in that loop of, okay, so we implemented stuff. Now let's check it. Now let's see if we can do better. It's like example, we'd be like, okay, we implemented, this whole new customer experience. Let's review it. Okay, look, it seems like we fall off at maybe the 6-month mark where we're not in touch and not in tune with the clients as much. So let's work on that and improve it. Or, hey, let's see, like, there's a high cancellation rate of the first 6 months. Let's review what's causing that. So we look like basically looking at problems, right? Not firefighting, right? There's a difference. Firefighting is like clients angry right now. No, it's 10 clients angry about this thing. And it's like 5 clients angry about this thing. So let's focus on the one that's the 10 clients are angry about, so that we want to learn and implement something that prevents this happening. So it's about identifying those, just goes back again to the gaps that are existing, so that we can slowly eliminate them out and make the business more smoother and runs more like a machine. So that's pretty much most of my day. It sounds silly, right? It's like I sit around, I go to meetings, I talk to people, I onboard clients, and then it's about guiding the team, because there'll be client issues, and they'll be like, Richard, what do we want to do here? And I'll be like, what do you want to do? And then we talk about it. It's like, well, look, does it make sense to do that? Right? Maybe not. It's this next level is like, I guess, implementing more of the principles that we use to make decisions. And I haven't found a very good way to write it down yet and get them across on it, but it's more like ingraining it in like a culture of like, this is why we chose to do this.
Yeah, that's right. And so you pretty much like have built all our systems, and then the VAs even help with building out those systems and implement it as well. And then as they're going through that machine, working through the system, you already got one step ahead, now looking at how can we improve and looking at systemizing the next thing or innovating something else. Yeah.
There's always more to do, but just taking that time to have a look at what's happening here and what makes sense for us to spend time on, right? In that area.
So in short, a VA can do everything that you need in operations, because I know that when you're away, I feel at peace because I know that you could take days off and everything's still running. Anything else you want to share with the last thought on what does a VA do for an operations manager?
A VA could even be an operations manager. It just is about how patient are you to be willing for them to train up to that level and for you to guide them through. It's very possible to get to that point. Is it easy? Is it easy to find someone like that? No, but it's about always looking at what's happening in the business, what's happening in your life, and thinking about what can you adapt to give off to someone else. And I'll be honest, like a VA can do anything, to be honest. Yeah, it's the truth, and it's broad, but it's about how patient are you to be willing to let them keep learning and trying to get better at that thing. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Richard.
No worries, Lynn.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, let me know. And if you have any comments for me as well, I would love to hear from you. Now, if you want to explore what a VA can do for your business, I would love to invite you for a free discovery call. Or else if you want to learn more from us, we have more videos over here.